Naruto opened a pet shop in the ninja world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76. Qing arrived home on time before Naruto woke up. He placed the sealing scroll on the table and looked around the space in his home. Why didn't I realize before that this house is so small? Qing touched his chin and dropped his hands helplessly. Due to lack of space, if I take out all the things I just bought, the house will probably become even smaller. Bed, rubbing his eyes and yawning, uncle, had been put aside. What's that nice smell? After washing his face, Naruto sat at the dining table and moved his nose to smell the scent. Qing smiled and replied, I simply processed the meat I packed back from the barbecue restaurant last night and had omelette rice for lunch. The vegetables, meat and soup were not left out. Although the dishes are simple, they are nutritionally balanced. Naruto's omelette rice has a cute kitten drawn on it with ketchup. Kitten. I want to help my uncle draw, too. Insistence, Qing gave him the ketchup. But because I didn't control the strength well, I squeezed out a large lump. Naruto took back his hand and raised his head guiltily. I'm sorry. Ahem. Qing's smile froze for a moment, and then he praised, wow, did Naruto draw the sun? It's so beautiful. My meal looks even more delicious. Naruto blushed as he was coaxing a child. I wanted to draw my uncle, but I couldn't control myself. It's okay, you've done a good job. Qing scooped up the ketchup on top with a spoon and ate it, without changing his expression. Look, you can draw it again. Naruto's eyes lit up again, and this time he used less force and squeezed out the lines smoothly. But no matter how Qing looked at it, the only difference from just now was that there were a few crooked lines outside the middle lump. The corner of his eyebrows twitched at an angle that Naruto couldn't see. He really couldn't tell what this was. After all, the sun had just set it. Just when Qing was stuck, Naruto spoke first. I drew my uncle. Well, it's better than what I drew just now. Qing blurted out words of praise, but then the corners of his mouth twitched and his smile froze a little. Is this how little uncle looks to you? Just like the sun. Naruto didn't know many words, so he could only describe what he was thinking based on his feelings. The sun is warm and bright, just like my uncle. Qing suddenly fell silent. The corners of his mouth that had been raised were straightened and slightly pursed. He walked around the table in 2 or 3 steps and hugged Naruto. You are my son too. Naruto was still a little full. After eating, he laid down on the ground. I'm so full. Seeing Qing preparing to collect the dishes, he stood up and rushed over. I'll collect them. I'll collect them. Qing did not fight with him. Then please help me get it to the sink. Okay. Chapter 77. While Qing was cleaning up, Naruto followed behind like a little duck. He was hanging around behind Qing to make his presence felt. Even though there was only one more person in the family, Qing felt as if the house was filled with liveliness. Qing knew very well that he was not a person who liked crowds, but this kind of crowd was different. Naruto, do you want to go do some work with your uncle this afternoon? Or do we want to play together at home? Qing wanted to go and see houses so that she could decide to move in as soon as possible. But first of all, it was Naruto's thoughts that came into consideration. Naruto was about to say I want to go with my uncle subconsciously, but the words stopped at his lips. He shook his head as he thought of something. I want to go to the park to play, is that okay? In fact, Naruto wanted to stay with Qing more, but there was another thing he wanted to do more. Naruto's refusal was unexpected to Qing, and he then reflected on why he had such thoughts. After all, this is an age when children are full of curiosity about the world, so it is normal for them to prefer to play. After reflecting on himself, Qing was somewhat relieved that Naruto could make his own request. Of course, uncle will prepare some things for you and send you over to pick me up. Naruto placed his hands on both sides of Qing's cheeks, looking at him with anticipation in his eyes. Of course, I'll pick you up and take you home after I finish my work. Qing rubbed his head. He didn't think much about it at the moment and responded to Naruto as a matter of course. I even felt a little moved that after so many days of getting along, Naruto has been able to look other people in the eye very naturally. After getting the answer he wanted, Naruto stomped his feet happily. Uncle is the best. I like you so much. I like little Naruto, too. Then he gave Naruto a hug and put him on the ground. Qing took out the small kettle he had bought today, cleaned it, filled it halfway with warm water, and then hung it around his neck. He also put a small backpack filled with snacks and tissues in it and let Naruto carry it by himself go out. Do you want to go pee first? Naruto shook his head, pacing in place and urging, we just peed, uncle, let's go. This is his first time to go to the park with someone, and someone has prepared so many things for him. He can't wait. I know. Do you want to hold hands? Want. Naruto stood next to Qing and held out his hand. The height difference actually made it difficult for Qing to hold hands, as he needed to bend over, but as soon as they got downstairs, Naruto started acting like a spoiled brat and asked for a hug. Qing didn't want to embarrass herself, so she held him in her arms and walked towards the park. Along the way, he reminded us, put your hand in your backpack after you take it off, drink up all the water, and there are snacks in your backpack that you can share with your friends. I know. Naruto had heard Shikamaru mention it before. Shikamaru said that his mother was very nagging and that whenever he went out to play, she would chatter non-stop and it was very troublesome. Naruto hadn't been able to experience that feeling before, but now he can finally experience it. But he didn't think his uncle was nagging at all. The uncle's voice is very nice and he likes it when he talks to him so much. I want to keep listening too. Chapter 78. When they were almost at the park entrance, Qing put Naruto down and hung the water bottle back on his body and carried it on his side. Naruto raised his little face, took confident steps and let Qing lead him. But he came a little early today, and felt a little disappointed that his friends hadn't arrived yet. They haven't arrived yet. My plan to show off my uncle's Naruto to my friends has fallen through. Then uncle will wait here with you. Qing looked at the park. Do you want to swing? Or seesaw? Naruto's disappointment was swept away, but he did not forget what his uncle said about going to do something. I can wait for them by myself. Shikamaru and Choji will be here soon. Uncle, remember to pick me up early. Naruto looked at the dazzling sun and emphasized, before the sun sets. Remember, I will pick you up home before the sun sets. Qing pinched Naruto's nose, but do you really not need me to wait with you? Qing was actually worried that Naruto's friends might not come out to the park to play today. Really, little uncle, please go and take care of your own things first. After saying that, he grinned to show that he could do it, and patted his chest to reassure Qing. Qing chuckled and squatted in front of Naruto. Then little uncle is leaving, don't force yourself. Okay, be careful on the road, bye, little uncle. Naruto waved. Before Qing left, he turned around and ran to the slide. Qing watched Naruto walk away before leaving to do his own thing. Naruto turned around and didn't see Qing. He pinched his chest anxiously and whispered to himself, my uncle said he would come to pick me up. Naruto didn't want to watch Qing's back as he walked away, as it would make him feel lonely by the ants. Shikamaru's mother was saying something, and Shikamaru nodded impatiently. Rent is still far beyond the budget. Qing accidentally spent more than half of his assets today. If the rent budget exceeds the budget, his life will be a little tight in the future. The real estate agent noted these requirements and said that he would reserve a suitable one for him first. Ordinary villagers in Konoha have always had a good impression of ninjas. Life is not easy. Qing sighed. In fact, Qing can go directly to the Hokage for the house matter, and he may not even have to pay rent. But Qing wanted to prove that he could support Naruto on his own. It looks like the vacation has turned early. Qing looked up at the sky. The clouds on the horizon were a little red under the sun. Pick me up today. Naruto's tone was full of showing off and pride. Shikamaru rolled his eyes. You've said this 800 times today. Choji opened a new pack of snacks. Want some? Chapter 79. Shikamaru shared his snacks with his two friends. Naruto's eyes sparkled, and he came closer to Choji. Aren't the snacks I brought today delicious? They were made by my uncle. Dingxi nodded. Delicious. Shikamaru moved away with a numb look on his face, not wanting to pay attention to Naruto. Naruto had been showing off his little uncle who suddenly appeared all afternoon today so suddenly. Shikamaru inherited his father's IQ, and although he is still young, his thinking is already better than his peers. Therefore, this little uncle who suddenly appeared and was praised to the fullest was equated by Shikamaru with a human trafficker. Since Naruto said his young uncle would come to pick him up one day, Shikamaru wanted to see who that person was. If something is too suspicious, he will immediately ask adults for help. Qing, who was squatting on a tree watching the show, had no idea that he had been grouped together with the cubs and the human traffickers. He watched as Naruto and the two boys continued to talk about their own things. What happened after lunch suddenly came to mind. So, that's how it is. Qing murmured softly. He then left his current position and landed near the park gate. After tidying up his appearance, he walked into the park with a smile on his face. Several children were facing this way, so the moment he appeared, the three of they noticed him, especially Naruto. When he saw Qing, the corners of his were almost reaching the back of his head. "Uncle, I'm here." He waved and shouted to attract Qing's mouth attention. After seeing Qing coming towards them, he said to the two people beside him, "Choji, Shikamaru, my uncle is here to take me home." Was picked up from the park by his family because Qing was facing away from the light. Shikamaru couldn't see his face clearly, but judging from his body shape, he is quite different from the uncle I imagined him to be. It was not until Qing walked in front of them and looked up that Shikamaru's narrow eyes widened and his mouth opened slightly in surprise. "Hey, Naruto, didn't you say you were your uncle?" Shikamaru asked in a low voice. "It's my uncle for sure." Naruto wanted to turn over and climb down. "How can this be uncle? Did you call him the wrong name?" Shikamaru looked at the pretty and delicate face. "This should obviously be brother, isn't he your brother?" Choji asked Shikamaru's question. Qing caught Naruto, who was halfway up, and let him land safely on the ground. "In terms of seniority, I am Naruto's uncle. Nice to meet you. My name is Qing." "Hello uncle, my name is Akimachi Choji. The snacks are really delicious." Choji is still obsessed with what he ate today. "Hello, Choji, thank you for your liking. Next time when you have time, you can ask Naruto to invite you to my house. I will prepare other snacks in advance." Qing did not correct the way Choji addressed him and invited them warmly. Choji looked at Naruto with burning eyes. On the contrary, Shikamaru felt that the name Qing sounded very familiar. "I feel like I've heard this somewhere before." "Hello, my name is Nara Shikamaru." He is not Shikamaru, so he cannot call this face uncle. And he felt guilty about his doubts just now. "Hello Shikamaru, I'm Qing." Qing took his outstretched hand and shook it gently up and down. Naruto watched the interaction between the people and forced his way in. "I'm Uzumaki Naruto." Chapter 80. Until last month, Naruto was the hated little monster in the orphanage. He didn't understand why he had such a name, and didn't understand what he had done wrong to be so hated. Shikamaru and Choji are among the few who choose to play with him, but when the time comes they will go home, or their parents will come to pick them up. The ones who were left behind could only watch with envy as they had a place to go back to and someone to pick them up. But it's different now. My uncle is back. He has a place to go back to, and his uncle will come to take him home. I will never feel lonely because of these things again. The missing piece is filled. Uncle, I miss you so much. I miss Naruto too. Qing checked the things Naruto brought, then took out a handkerchief to wipe his face. Boys should be very concerned about their reputation in front of their friends, but Naruto, who was treated like a baby, had a face full of pride and enjoyment. Affectionate interaction between the uncle and nephew made Shikamaru smack his lips. Naruto and his friends waved goodbye and were carried on Qing's back. Naruto, who was carried by Qing, always laughed foolishly from time to time along the way. Qing was helpless and a little distressed. Naruto always felt satisfied with things that he considered to be small things. "Are you so happy?" "Yes. Very very happy." Naruto put his face on Qing's back. "Uncle feels so warm." Qing chuckled. "If you feel sleepy, you can take a nap first." "Uncle, I'm really happy today." He was also happy when he was playing before, but he was especially happy today. Shikamaru and the others didn't believe me at first. Naruto was very excited and didn't feel like sleeping at all to Naruto telling some interesting things. Suddenly, Qing took a few steps back, and several shurikens appeared where he was about to pass. He lifted Naruto up with both hands and kicked back the kunai that was flying towards them. Then there was another round of intensive attacks. Qing held Naruto with one hand and quickly took out a kunai from his bag. Ling. Ding dang dang, all were blocked by him. Everything happened so fast that Naruto behind him was completely out of his mind. I don't know if it's because he hasn't had this intention yet, or if he trusts Qing too much, but he doesn't feel scared at all. In fact, Naruto was impressed by Qing's arm that almost became an afterimage. A pile of weapons fell in front of him. Qing smiled and said in one direction, "If you just use this, you can't hurt me now." Although I suffered a lot when I first started learning practical combat, his feet, shouting, "Shisui, if you don't come out, these will belong to me." Naruto followed suit and helped Qing pick up the things. Qing said he would tell him the names of these things. After picking up almost all the things around, Qing threw a handful in a certain direction, and the young man appeared in front of the two of them. He was a child. Qing was very good at making clanging noises. No matter whether it was a kunai or a shuriken, he would retrieve it after throwing it out. Later, Shisui told him, as long as you dodge or block what I throw, all of them will be yours. After all, the Uchiha family has no shortage of this. Chapter 81. Uchiha Shisui stood in front of the two of them with his hands hanging at his sides. After not seeing him for a few years, Shisui has matured a lot and become more handsome. He looks very energetic with a ninja sword protector on his forehead. He carries a samurai sword, wakizashi, on his back. The only thing that remains unchanged is probably the clothes with the Uchiha family emblem, gentle smile on her face and imperceptible doting in her eyes. He did not deny it and admitted generously, yes, poverty alleviation. Such a generous admission made Qing speechless, and he spared his face. Thank you so much. Shisui's smile became even brighter. You're welcome, but since we're going to help the poor, we have to follow through and keep up. Qing was puzzled. What? Seeing Shisui disappear on the spot after releasing the seals with his hands, Qing's competitive spirit that had been suppressed for many years was aroused again. Qing asked Naruto to close his eyes and hug him tightly. Naruto obediently closed his eyes and buried his face in his uncle's arms, hugging him tight. Then, two ninjas were seen chasing each other on the roof of Konoha. One figure flashed as fast as lightning, while the other figure in front was like a ghost. The other ninjas who passed by didn't even see who it was. When people think of Konoha as a person who has such body skills, the first person that comes to mind is the young genius of the Uchiha family, Uchiha Shisui, who is known as the Flash Body Shisui. As for the other one who can catch up with his speed, I have no idea for now. The moment Shisui stopped, Qing stood behind him. Looking at Qing who was catching up with him, Shishui's eyes flashed. After stopping and standing firm, Qing stroked Naruto's back and said, "Little Naruto, you can open your eyes now." Naruto raised his face and opened his eyes, with only curiosity in his eyes without any fear. I'm lost. Shisui fixed his gaze on Naruto in Qing's arms. He took the lead before Qing was ready and used his eye technique, while Qing was still holding Naruto in her arms. Under these three conditions, he could still be only 1 second slower than himself. Shisui suddenly became curious about how strong Qing is now. Why did you bring me here? Qing looked around. What comes into view are green mountains and clear waters, as well as a house with a yard. Shisui took out a key, opened the door of the house, and said with a smile, "Help the poor." The door opened, revealing a cobblestone path leading to the entrance of the inner house. This is the spare room of a friend of mine. Shisui pointed in the direction to the left of the gate and said, "Just walk straight down this road and you'll reach the market in 5 minutes. It's also not far from the ninja school. The only downside is that it's all private territory around here, with no other, so it'll be very quiet." Shisui led the way and was the first to step into the house. But Qing stood where he was, with no intention of going in. What's wrong? Don't you like it? Seeing that he didn't move, Shisui stepped back. It's okay if you don't like it. I can take you to another place. Then he walked past Qi residence. Qing grabbed his arm. I don't need it. Shisui was stunned for a moment, then continued to smile. Aren't you looking for a new place to live? That's true, but Qing understood Shishui's meaning of poverty alleviation, but no matter whether these houses belonged to Shishui's friends or not, he should not and could not accept it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82. Shisui forgot how long it had been since he had seen Qing with such an expression. Compared to the smile that is always on his face, this slightly look is more real and charming. The area covered by the palm of the hand felt slightly hot to you. From Shishui's perspective, Qing looked as if his entire face was held in his palms. Qing's face is very small, and Shisui can cover it with just one slap. Qing was stunned, with an expression that said, "Isn't that so?" Huh. Shisui's shoulders trembled, and then his whole body bent over with laughter. Qing's face flushed red as he realized he had misunderstood, and he raised his fist and swung it at Shisui. Don't laugh. If you laugh again, I'll beat you up. Haha, you're already beating me up. Shisui dodged. Qing didn't really want to beat him up, he just pretended not to do it for the sake of face. She was about to leave angrily while holding the sleepy Naruto, but was stopped by Shisui. I'm telling the truth. This is my friend's house. It has been left there for many years. He has been paying a lot of money to have someone clean it up. If you are willing to move in, he can save the cleaning fee. He also clearly stated that you can stay as long as you want. Is he being so willful because he's rich? Qing frowned and looked inside. He was about to refuse. Shisui added, I do have money, but actually I'd like to do you a favor. Selling a favor? Or is it for me? Does he have any misunderstanding about me? Qing didn't understand he had done. Shisui choked a little. This is not important. Anyway, the owner of the house is trustworthy. When the time comes, it will only be an ordinary task that he will entrust to you. Shisui pulled out a long-prepared contract from his bag. Here, this is all prepared with sincerity. You only need to sign it and the contract will take effect. Qing took the contract and read it quickly. Every clause was beneficial to him, and the rent was within his budget. Considering that Qing would probably rent the place for a long time, Shisui even guaranteed that it would be rented out at the current price for the next 10 years. If Qing didn't want to rent it anymore, he could cancel the lease at any time. If Qing likes the place and wants to buy it in the future, that's totally fine. There are no tax traps and absolutely no reason to refuse. Qing held the contract in his hand, looking conflicted. Indeed, there is no chance for me to refuse. Shisui smiled and said, if you don't like this one, there's another one. Can I take you to see it? Qing sighed. No need, just here. Qing believed in Shisui. Since he was his friend, he could definitely be trusted. Since he was able to provide timely help, Qing could guess that it was probably Shisui who spoke first. Chapter 83. The matter was settled. Qing took out a pen from her bag and signed her name, and the contract was completed. Make 2 copies and each person keeps one. Don't you want to go in and take a look? Shisui handed a bunch of keys to Qing. The biggest one is for the main door, the other one with a special shape is for the small door, and the others are for the rooms. You can check them out when you have time. There's only one key to each door. From now on, this place belongs to you. You can use it however you want. Thanks. Qing held Naruto in one hand, took the key and put it away. It's almost time for dinner. There's still time to move directly and visit tomorrow. After solving the most important thing, Qing relaxed. Would you like to have dinner together tonight? You can order some dishes. It's very tempting, but maybe next time. Shisui shook the contract in his hand. I still have to go back and give them an answer, then. I'll treat you next time. If the landlord is free, please make an appointment for me. Although the other party had a purpose, he did get all the benefits. Moreover, even if he is specifically asked to do a task in the future, he will still be paid. If it was just a small matter, Qing could consider accepting the commission for free, but no matter how you think about it, it wouldn't be a small matter. The two walked together for a while, chatting about some family matters and interesting things they saw while outside another fork in the road. Shisui stopped and said, I have to go this way. I'll help you move tomorrow. Qing asked subconsciously, isn't your home in the same direction as mine? As soon as he finished speaking, Shisui's expression changed slightly, but it only lasted for a moment, and he simply explained, moved. Develop a rebellious mentality. The Uchiha who was questioned because of the Nine-Tails incident a few years ago was also ostracized to the edge of the village because of this opportunity. This incident made the Uchiha high-level officials feel insulted, and they began to make plans internally. Qing looked at Shisui worriedly. If you need my help with anything, I will do it no matter what it is. The expression on Shisui's face suddenly went blank, and for a moment, he felt that Qing seemed to know something. But how could Qing know? He had been away from the village for 3 years, so how could he know? Shisui thought he was overthinking it, so he pretended to be relaxed and smiled and said, okay, I'll remember what you said, don't go back on your word later. Qing frowned and snorted, you are questioning my character. Thank you very much, let's go back. Shisui pushed Qing's back and pushed him towards home. He looked at the boy's back as he walked away. He looked so beautiful under the sunlight. His inner turmoil became more and more intense. The gathering place of the Uchiha family. After Shisui returned, he went directly to the back hill of the Uchiha family at the training ground in the back mountain. The black-haired boy stood in the middle and threw shurikens at 10 targets at the same time, and every shuriken hits the bullseye. Shisui. Itachi withdrew his hand. He looked at Shisui with some anxiety. Shisui smiled and nodded. Okay. Itachi breathed a sigh of relief at the answer. Thank you, Shisui-san. Thank you for your trouble. Chapter 84. In fact, Qing's entire schedule today can be said to be transparent. There is no other reason, it's just because there are too many people paying attention to him. Someone has been following us since we took Uzumaki Naruto to the hospital. Later, he suddenly went shopping alone and bought a bunch of children's items. Spending money like water is not at all what Qing would do when he used to buy items on sale. When Itachi heard the report from the Uchiha clan's spy, Qing had already started looking for a house. But I don't know why I'm still not satisfied. Itachi had a selfish thought in his heart, so he asked Shisui to rent the house he had bought without telling anyone to Qing at a low price. As long as he can sign it, any reason is fine was all for Qing's issue. Could probably guess that the reason why Qing was so stingy when renting a house was that he was not careful when buying things in the morning. Shisui really didn't know what to say to Qing except feeling helpless. Shisui knew better than anyone how frugal Qing was, and this once again made Shisui realize how important Uzumaki Naruto was to Qing. Thank you, Shisui. Shisui poked Itachi's head and said, he's just a little brat, but he was able to hide from his clan and buy a house like that. It did take some thought, but it was originally intended for myself. It was something Itachi bought for himself, a place where he could relax. Now Qing has taken over. It may be that he mistakenly thought that I found it specially for him. It's okay, it's good like this. I don't think I can convince Qing. I think only brother Shisui can find a way to convince him. When they were younger, Itachi had always been watching the two of them from behind, and later he only looked at Qing. Mingming was just curious about what kind of person he was at first. Worship for his brother, but it was not the same for brother Shisui until Sasuke was born. Itachi also figured out what kind of feeling this was. You really are the kind of person who does good things without leaving a name. Shisui gritted his teeth and ravaged Itachi's head fiercely. Uncle, the little crow didn't come today. Naruto woke up after sleeping for a while. After arriving home, Qing was preparing dinner. He looked at the sky, and it was not completely dark yet. Normally the little crow would have arrived by this time, and after waking up, Naruto leaned against the window and waited for a long time. Dinner was ready, but the little crow was nowhere to be seen. Naruto felt a little frustrated. Will the little crow not come to play with me? Little crow, maybe you're too busy today to come. Qing had no objection to Itachi sneaking into her house, and even thought his behavior was cute. Qing thought that maybe the little crow knew that he had woken up, so he didn't come. Do you want to see the little crow so much? Naruto nodded vigorously. I think if the little crow is moving away, I would like to say goodbye to the little crow as well. Then, when the little crow's master is free, I'll ask him to let you say goodbye to the little crow, okay? Really? Does uncle know the owner of the little crow? I know him, so eat well first. You're full. You have to help clean up the furniture, okay? Although it's a bit late, I'd like to remind you all here. 1. The CP of the dual male protagonists in this work is Itachi. It's okay for uncle to support other CPs. You can leave a message if everyone wants to read other F lines after the main story is finished. If anyone points out any information here, I will make changes. 3. This is fanfiction. The original characters have been released, so it is normal to slightly modify the background settings of the original characters, right? If you can't accept it, just click XX. After all, the main purpose of writing this kind of daily fanfiction is to make up for your own regrets, right? 4. There is no need to make a statement if I abandon the article. If you ask, it means you are too sensitive. However, I will correct the unreasonable content and typos if you point them out. I will accept reasonable criticism and reject unreasonable attacks. 5. Any similarities are purely coincidental. If you think any of these are similar to his works, please point them out. 6. In order to have a perfect ending, I can only reveal here that a Minato couple will come back to life. The update of this work depends entirely on a flash of inspiration, and there is no outline, and it is uncertain whether it will eventually lead to White Whale above Chapter 85. The next morning, Shisui and Itachi stood in front of Qing's house. Neither of them showed any intention of knocking first. He should be awake now, right? Shisui is not sure whether Qing's daily routine has changed. I don't know. The room was so quiet that Itachi didn't hear any footsteps or voices, so the stalemate remains. In fact, Shisui and Itachi had not made an appointment in advance to help Qing move today. We just happened to meet each other in front of the gate of the Uchiha clan gathering place. However, if the destination is the same, then we can travel together. Why are you standing at someone's door so early in the morning? And you look so serious. If someone didn't know, one might think you were here to seek revenge. Qing carried the sleeping Naruto on his back, and when he came back, he saw the two big Buddhas standing in front of his door. The action of raising the hand and then putting it down looked very strange to the onlookers. However, Qing hadn't seen Itachi for a long time, and was a little surprised that he would take the initiative to come to his house today. Grown a lot taller and his baby fat has faded. I can already see his handsome appearance when he grows up. Itachi, long time no see. Qing suddenly felt like his son had grown up. Itachi's eyes twinkled and he bowed slightly. Long time no see, Qing brother. Day in advance. What were you doing so early in the morning? Shisui looked at Qing and Naruto wearing the same sportswear. We went for morning exercise. Little Naruto insisted on following me after being woken up by me accidentally. However, he couldn't run anymore after a while, so he was considered as sparring partner. Qing put Naruto on the bed. Naruto's brows furrowed slightly, showing signs of waking up. Qing patted his chest gently and whispered, "We are home now. You can sleep for a while. Uncle will wait for you to wake up at home." Hearing Qing's voice, perhaps because he felt relieved after hearing it clearly, Naruto's frown relaxed and he soon fell asleep again. Hearing Qing say that he was going for a morning run, Shisui inexplicably felt relieved, because Qing's schedule had not changed from what he knew. Sasuke, but he can resist his sleepiness and insist on going for morning exercises with Qing. Seeing that they were still too gentle towards Sasuke, perhaps the formal training should be brought forward. His father was the same. He thought Sasuke was spoiled, but he also spoiled him. But compared to Uzumaki Naruto, Sasuke is indeed a little pampered. At this time, the Uchiha family, Sasuke, who was still sleeping, suddenly felt a little cold. He shrank his neck, turned over and continued to sleep. After coaxing Naruto to sleep, Qing subconsciously wanted the two to stop standing and sit down first. But when he turned around and saw the empty house, he was stunned for a moment and looked at them apologetically. "How about you sit on the bed first? I have put away all the furniture, just stand there." Shisui looked around the empty room with only a bed left, and his eyebrows jumped. "Qing, where are the refrigerator, wardrobe and washing machine?" Chapter 86. In response to Shisui's question, Qing answered as a matter of course, "I have put everything away. The only thing missing is the bed. I will put it away after little Naruto wakes up." Qing. Itachi also discovered the problem. "Isn't this dormitory arranged for you to live in by the third generation?" Qing nodded, "Yes. Orphans will be arranged with accommodation." In his memory, Qing knew that his original self had rejected the home that was full of memories with his parents. He was also unwilling to go to the orphanage, but after he proved that he could take care of himself, the third Hokage arranged for him to live here. A single dormitory room like this usually comes with a refrigerator, wardrobe, washing machine and bed as standard. Shisui rubbed his forehead. Hiss. Qing took a breath, looking shocked. "So I can't take these furniture with me? I have developed feelings for them. I recognize my bed, logically speaking. These are all public property belonging to the Hokage of Konoha." Itachi walked towards the bathroom and found that the shower head had indeed been removed. When he thought of the scene of Qing dismantling the shower head, his expression went blank for a moment. "I'll buy you new ones as a gift for your new home." Shisui felt that perhaps only Qing in this world could make him feel so helpless. "Leave the old ones behind." "Okay." Qing still felt a little regretful. "Thank you, Masters." Shisui poked Qing's forehead. The guy who just said that he was loyal to his bed immediately gave up when he heard that there would be new furniture. "It's not that I'm attached to my bed, it's just that I'm short of money and can't afford new furniture." When Qing took out the sealing scroll, Shisui and Itachi knew where the things had been collected. Shaked out another pile of sealed scrolls, he picked and chose among them and found the ones he marked as large household appliances. Thinking that it would be easier to unblock them after finding a good location, Qing placed all the large appliances separately. Shisui and Itachi watched how he put the appliances back in place one by one. Shisui, sealing scroll. Very few ninjas would use this in their daily lives. and even fewer could seal one seal onto another like Qing ninja tools to attack are excluded. Qing not only did it, but was also able to use it skillfully. Shisui also remembered that Qing was very talented in the sealing technique. "Can I take a look?" Itachi was a little curious about the runes on it. "You can look around." Qing found the shower head and hung it up he had never seen before. At first glance, it looked the same as ordinary ones, but there were some very complicated ones contained underneath. Qing sighed in his heart that Itachi was worthy of being called a genius boy. "This is something that Senior Yamanaka and I have improved after researching together. It is much more convenient to use, but I don't know where the problem is. After this rune is drawn, only I can use it. The reason has not been studied clearly yet. Oh, and no living creatures can be released." Qing's inspiration for this came from something called a space bag in a novel he had read. However, he knew nothing about refining equipment and could only use the sealing scroll as a substitute. Because it was impossible to achieve the desired effect and the space was limited, I used the nesting doll method to meet my needs. Chapter 87. Qing felt regretful that he could not get the space bag. But he didn't want to give up. "I'll improve it when I have time." Shisui had an indescribable expression on his face as he watched Qing put the furniture back and collected the scroll. What Konoha lacks the least is geniuses, but people like Qing can be reused no matter which ninja village they are in. Although the sealing department belongs to logistics, in some aspects logistics is always more important than the combat effectiveness of the front line. Just based on Qing's talent in sealing ninjutsu, if he could further deepen his knowledge, Shisui believed that he would be able to create a stir in the ninja world. However, Qing's starting point is simple and his purpose is clear: everything is for the convenience of his own use in life. "I work hard to improve my own strength so that I can receive tasks with high commissions. The purpose of taking on tasks and saving money is to open a pet shop and live a stable life." Shisui knew that it was because he was such a pure person that he was so attractive to her. In the Hokage building on the other side, Hokage's office, there was no peeping whale. He was just the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hirozen, who simply cared about the younger generation in the village at this moment. I am staring at the crystal ball on my desk. The scene presented in the crystal ball was exactly Qing's home. It starts with Itachi and Shisui going to Qing's house. "So I saw everything that just happened. Ahem. Kakashi." The Sandaime raised his finger and pointed at the crystal ball. "If you have nothing else to do, please help me get some new furniture for this kid." Just now, when the third Hokage saw Qing being reluctant to part with those old furniture, he felt like he was blaming someone for being stingy. Combining the causes and consequences, the conclusion drawn is that the one being blamed is obviously me. Tell him that this is a relocation gift and a reward for his hard work over the past 3 years. Kakashi, who also watched the whole process, had a somewhat numb look in his eyes. After hearing what the third Hokage said, he narrowed his eyes and smiled. "Yes, but based on my understanding of him, he might prefer to give away furniture as a reward in cash. What do you think?" The third generation raised his head, looked at Kakashi and snorted. "You know how to fight for him. Okay, the bonus will be calculated separately. I'll see how much it is, Kakashi. I believe Qing will be very touched. Let's go and arrange the things ahead first." "Yes." After Kakashi left, the Sandaime stroked the beard on his chin. He was thinking about what reason he should use to give the bonus so that it would not cause objections from others. After being given to Qing, the Sandaime looked at Qing, who was sitting with 2 other young geniuses from the Uchiha family, and said with a smile, "The vacation is almost over, kid." The third generation put the crystal ball aside and sorted out the task assignments. In the past few years, Qing has indeed solved many difficult tasks for the village, and the things he did before have long been offset. Moreover, whether Qing was on a personal mission or was sent to support other teams, he completed the mission perfectly. The third generation intends to train Qing to be his successor. He is decisive and wise, and can win people's hearts with his charm. This can be seen from the praise he received in the support team's report. He sometimes acts on impulse when facing friends and family, which adds some authenticity to his character. The tasks assigned to him by the third generation were all to get him close to the center of power. As long as Qing was willing, he could take control of them and use them. He was intent on pushing Qing away, but he just wanted to protect her in this way before she fully grew up. After all, he can hide himself outside. But Konoha is not peaceful now. Chapter 88. Naruto woke up, Feeling groggy, he turned over and sat on the bed in a daze because there were no chairs. The three teenagers who were sitting on the ground all looked over when they heard the noise. When Naruto saw outsider, he subconsciously shrank his neck after her eyes fell on Qing. She got off the bed and ran into Qing's arms obediently. "Hello, brother. Well behaved, cute, polite and not noisy." If it weren't for the shackles brought to him by the Nine Tails, Shisui felt that Naruto would be the kind of child who would be very likable wherever he went. However, if there was no Nine Tails, Naruto might have been as naughty as most boys. Naruto had had a brief contact with Shisui yesterday, and his impression of him was that of a very powerful older brother, and a good friend of his uncle. When he looked at Itachi again, Naruto's eyes lit up. He tugged at Qing's clothes, stood up and whispered in his ear, "Uncle, this brother helped me last time, when Uncle was still sleeping." Naruto felt a little regretful that he never met Itachi again after that, as he had a very good impression of Itachi. Naruto thought he very spoke quietly, but in fact the other two could hear it clearly. He listened patiently as Naruto finished explaining what happened. Itachi felt a little uncomfortable when he heard Naruto say words like super gentle and especially good. Qing felt distressed and blamed himself. He wanted to thank Itachi, but was stopped by Itachi's eyes. Naruto will take the initiative to help him. Yet, I remember it. After a simple breakfast, they set off. Breakfast was bread and milk that Qing bought on the way back. With two more companions, everything was new to Naruto. After getting to know each other, Naruto started talking like a switch was turned on. "Naruto, brother Itachi, is the kid you were with last time your brother? How old is he?" "You, but a little older than you, Naruto." "Brother Shisui, were you and my uncle classmates in school, Shisui?" "Yes, we are deskmates and partners, brother." "Itachi, are you a ninja too, Itachi?" "Yes, brother." "Shisui, who is more powerful, you and your little uncle?" "Yesterday it seemed like we were evenly matched." "More powerful than him," Shisui retorted, "except for our first year, I haven't beaten you in subsequent competitions, right?" Qing frowned. "That's because you didn't use your full strength to compete with me, and if you used pupil skills, I might have fallen in an instant." Illusion has always been Qing's weak point. Because that incident has always been a hurdle in Qing's heart. He had clearly made all the necessary preparations, but he had overlooked the illusion. After that, Qing gave himself special training in case he might be defeated by illusions again in the future. Although he could easily break through low-level and ordinary illusions. But what if it's at the level of the Uchiha family? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89. Qing still knows how much he is capable of. During his first mission, Qing realized that this world was far more dangerous than he had imagined, and if he was not careful, he could be gone. Qing is not afraid of death, but this does not conflict with cherishing his own life. Especially in the past 3 years, it has been common for people to be on the verge of death outside. The only thing to be thankful for is that I didn't encounter any advanced illusions. There are actually many ways to deal with it. I'll tell you later. Shisui hooked his arm around Qing's neck. "The most important thing now is to tidy up your new home so that you can sleep well tonight." "Hi, boys, good morning." The sudden appearance of Kakashi, a senior ninja, made Qing subconsciously take a few steps back and put Naruto behind him, ready for battle. This is a conditioned reflex developed by the body. The sudden change stunned both Shisui and Itachi. Kakashi also had a hint of surprise in his eyes, and then he scratched his head with an apologetic expression. Sorry, I scared you." Is he always on guard? Even in familiar places, he remained in a state of tense spirit. It was not difficult for Kakashi to imagine how Qing had developed such a habit over the years. "It's senior brother Kakashi." Qing put down his hand that was touching the ninja tool bag. It seemed that he had let down his guard and returned to his normal state. Kakashi believed that if Qing was not holding Naruto in his arms, he might have directly launched an attack. "Shisui, is Kakashi-senpai here to look for Qing?" "Yes, I'm helping the Hokage-sama with something." Kakashi lowered his eyelids. "Come with me, young man, to get your moving package. Safer to let you choose it directly." Qing touched his head in confusion. Why did the news get to the Hokage? He thought he was doing this in a very low-key manner. Kakashi shifted his gaze to Naruto, who was staring at him curiously. He smiled with only one eye visible. Those who haven't been on a mission basically know it. Why don't you guess why? Possible. However, given his current financial situation, Qing was still happy to accept anything he could get for free from the Hokage. After giving Naruto a few instructions, Qing followed Kakashi. The two walked towards the market, and Qing attracted 100% of the attention. The gaze was too scorching, and Kakashi even wanted to keep his distance from him. Perhaps Qing saw through his intention, and he smiled and hooked his arm around Kakashi's neck. "Brother, why are you so distant with me?" Kakashi was forced to half bend over, and glanced at the face so close to him with his peripheral vision, then shifted his gaze somewhat uncomfortably. "Aren't you tired like this?" "I'm a little tired." Qing's eyebrows twitched. "Are you making fun of me for being short? I'm still growing. Who knows, I might be taller than you when I grow up." Qing let go of his hand and frowned. Kakashi recalled his teacher's height and how malnourished Qing looked when he was a child. It is said that nephews resemble their uncles. Kakashi feels that the chance of Qing being taller than him is not high, but he chose to remain silent. After all, Qing seemed to care a lot about his height. Chapter 90. Kakashi wasn't particular about furniture. As long as the bed is sleepable, it's fine. After all, there won't be such a comfortable bed for you to sleep on when you're on a mission. So, when he looked at Qing lying on the bed and feeling him, he didn't understand his behavior. Instead, the owner of the furniture store came out to greet us personally. "This handsome guy is obviously an expert. I've run the store for so many years, and you're the first one to try out the furniture before buying it. After all, I use it every day. It is important for me to have a good sleep." Qing's eyes flashed and he shook his boss's hand. The two then used some professional terms that Kakashi, an outsider, could not understand. Seeing that this place didn't look like it would end anytime soon, Kakashi went to some other place to watch casually. After all, it sells bedding, so the scale here is quite large, with many samples on display. There are even strange shapes that have never been seen before. Kakashi studied the so-called waterbed. Kakashi had seen a description of this waterbed in Intimate Paradise. "This is the first time I've seen it with my own eyes, sir. This is the latest technology our boss learned from a distant town. Only this one has been made so far. Comfortable as lying on the water. Just at this price, not very beautiful." Kakashi got off the waterbed and saw Qing and the boss walking towards him while talking. When Qing saw the waterbed, his eyes lit up and he took off his shoes and lay down on it. He closed his eyes and slowed his breathing. Half a year, but no one was interested in buying it because of its price was finally sold. The boss's eyes lit up. "Young man, you really know what you are talking about. Since we are destined to be together, I will give you a 12% discount today. I will consider it as making friends with you." "Oh? Brother, you are a very nice person." Qing likes any discount. Kakashi, however, did some calculation in his mind and found that this waterbed was still not cheap. Even at a 12% discount did not set an upper limit on the purchase amount. Kakashi suddenly felt a little sorry for the third Hokage's wallet. Then, after hearing what Qing said, the boss agreed to give him 4 sets of bedding and 10 years of free maintenance. Qing left the address of his new home and asked the boss to send someone to notify him after the maintenance was completed, and he would come to pick up the goods in person. After they delivered the goods, he would bring the bill directly to the Hokage building to settle the bill with the third Hokage. Upon hearing that the person was a relative of the Hokage, the boss, who originally had a painful look on his face, turned around and gave him a water pillow for the summer. Whether in the previous life or this life, Qing is in a very good mood as he is about to own his first water bed in his life. With a smile on his lips, he hummed an unknown tune. His joy seemed to be contagious to Kakashi beside him. Kakashi, who already needed to keep his inner emotions from being too intense, suddenly felt that it was nice to be like this occasionally. It had been a long time since Kakashi last felt alive. Chapter 91, unrelated to the small extra, Shisui. Prerequisite for reading the extra chapters, do not bring them into the main text. The CPs written in the extra chapters have nothing to do with the main text. Exclamation mark. Simply to satisfy the needs of the babies to have CPs, remember not to bring them into the main text, the important tools and items before the incident, so the only thing that was actually damaged was the decoration of the store. After reopening, Qing was so busy with business that he was like a spinning top. There were quite a few pets that were injured in this battle, and some were sent here for cleaning and care because they were dirty all over. Nearly a month after the peak period was over, Qing gave the colleagues in the store a week's vacation and bonuses so that everyone could have a good rest. That day, Qing was the only one on duty in the store. A dirty little kitten was scratching at the door of Qing's shop. The kitten was all black and covered in freshly applied mud. When Qing noticed him, he was stunned for 0.1 second. Mimi, in an attempt to attract the attention of Qing in the store. Qing did notice him, with a barely perceptible smile in his eyes, showing a loving expression. Oh, poor little kitty, was he played a prank by a kid? He went straight through the kitten's belly, picked him up, and patted the kitten's head. Mimi, you are so good. Brother will give you a bath first. There's no one else in the store now. If it were an ordinary cat, it would always offer some resistance when being picked up in this position. This little kitten, who was not afraid of strangers, had no intention of resisting and was obediently taken into the bathroom. Qing put the little black cat on the table and left the bathroom. He didn't put the cat in a cage or tie his neck to prevent him from running around. There were no customers now, so Qing simply hung up a rest sign and went back into the bathroom itself. Okay, baby, let's take a bath. Qing touched the head that was the only part that was not covered in mud, bent down and kissed the forehead. He whispered into the cat's ear, baby, be good. Didn't notice it, immersed in the happiness of being kissed on the forehead and blown in the ears. He didn't resist when the shower soaked his hair, and even showed a comfortable expression when Qing applied shower gel on him. You are so good, Mimi. You are not afraid of water at all. Qing's hands wandered over the cat's body. Her fingertips pressed gently every inch of his fur. The kitten lay in the basin, almost as soft as a cat pancake. However, he suddenly raised his head, his wet hair stood on end, and looked at Qing in disbelief. That look was like asking him, what did you do? Qing rubbed his fingers. It feels good. It turns out to be a little brother. Chapter 92, unrelated to the small extra, Shisui. Qing rubbed his fingers with satisfaction, recalling the feel of the two cat bells. Well, it turns out that kitten bells are small and cute. It's simply humiliating. The kitten opened and closed its mouth slightly as if it had suffered a great shock. Afterwards, she turned her back and faced Qing with her butt, as if she was being upset. Qing smiled even more widely. He rinsed away the mud and water and washed it again before it was clean. Qing used an absorbent towel to absorb the moisture from the fur. He held the silent hairdryer between his shoulders and head, and used his free hands to tease the cat. Are you unhappy when I told you that you're small? Even though it's small, it feels good in my hands. Qing's words were like thunderbolts striking the cat directly. When the little kitten couldn't help but want to say that he was not small anymore, Qing's next words made him want to turn around and run away. Do you want to be my brother's cat? But I'm free for a while, so I'll do a small operation on you. Qing still had a smile on his face, but it looked unusually dangerous. The little black cat, who was familiar with Qing, knew what this so-called minor operation meant. Seeing that he was really about to take out the scalpel and needle and thread from the toolbox, the little black cat could no longer hold back. There was a bang and smoke filled the air. The little black cat that was originally lying on the table turned into a black-haired young man. His black pupils turned a little gray. He casually put the towel around his waist, got down from the table with an anxious expression, and grabbed Qing's hand. Just when he was about to say something, when he saw Qing looking at him with a half-smile on his face, he knew that he was being fooled. His hair was still a little damp, and he placed his hands on Qing's shoulders, almost pressing his whole body on him, a little disappointed. When did you find out? Shisui felt that his transformation jutsu was already disguised very well, and he even rolled in the mud to achieve the best effect. At the beginning, Qing smiled and let the young man hold her. During this period of time, he was indeed too busy to spend time with Shisui. Is it fun to tease me? Shisui held Qing's head and lifted it up with some annoyance, making him look directly at her. However, Qing directly admitted, it's fun. Shisui was choked. He really loved and hated a person in front of him. She was not wearing any clothes. The touch was very obvious. You still say I'm small. Qing blushed. Are you such a petty person? I'm not, but as a man, my dignity must be defended to the end. In front of Shisui said those two words very softly, and Qing heard them. The body temperature rose and the look in each other's eyes became more and more sticky. Shisui said, I'll go close the door. His voice was hoarse and low, filled with deep emotion. Just as she was about to turn around, Qing grabbed her hand and said, "Where do you want to go like this? You know, the door of their shop is transparent." Qing hooked his hands around Zhishu's neck and whispered, "It was locked just now." Corners of Zhishu's mouth couldn't help but rise, and he bent down slightly to hold Qing in his arms. He pushed open the door of the lounge with ease. Next, it's time for adults. Chapter 93, unrelated to the Naruto story. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I have been living in an orphanage for as long as I can remember. The children here have no parents, but many children actually had parents originally, but their parents went to heaven. Then why don't I have it? But there is always someone in my dreams, an older brother. The older brother is very gentle. He would coax me, sing songs to me and tell me stories. But after I woke up I couldn't remember what he looked like. Called me a monster. What is a monster? I heard adults say that a monster was a nine-tailed demon fox, and that I was the incarnation of the nine-tailed demon fox, so I had no parents. I did some very bad things before, destroyed a village, and caused many people to lose their families, so everyone hates me. But I don't even remember doing these things. It's so sad. I also wanted to be hugged like other children, borrowed his cake, and made a wish because I also wanted to have a family. Not long after, the wish came true. The older brother is really handsome, the most handsome person I have ever seen. But my older brother told me that I should call him uncle. I don't know what a little uncle is, but doesn't uncle refer to a very old person? Big brother doesn't look old at all. My older brother took me to eat ramen that I had always wanted to eat. It was the most filling meal I had ever had in my life, and I felt so happy. But the elder brother slept for a long time, but it doesn't matter. I will protect my big brother well. The older brother finally woke up, and then he told me that the younger uncle was my father's younger brother. So I also have a father and a mother? I was so happy. From now on I will call you big brother or little uncle. My uncle also apologized to me and said that he didn't come to pick me up because he was out on a mission. Oh, and my uncle is also a ninja. A very powerful ninja, so cool. Grandpa Naruto is also a ninja. I used to think Grandpa Naruto was very cool, but now the coolest one is the little uncle. My uncle told me a lot of things. He would sleep with me, tell me stories, and buy me new clothes and toys. So many things, and they belong only to me. I don't have to share it with other kids, and it's not left over by other kids. I'm so happy. Doesn't matter, as long as I have my uncle around, it's enough for me. From now on my chest used to hurt when I heard someone call me a monster, but not now. My wish really came true and I now have a family. Naruto's sixth day of XXTH month. Weather, the sun is out. Mood, happy, draw smiley face. Today, Uncle Susu bought me a diary. I was so happy. Picture, XXX. Weather, very hot. Mood, sad. My uncle is so busy. I hope he can stay with me forever. He is a super powerful ninja. Picture, house XXX. Weather, raining. Mood, super happy. It's raining today and it's so cool. My little uncle has been playing with me at home. I am the happiest kid in the world. Picture, rain XXXX. Weather, cold. Mood, my uncle didn't come back. I haven't written a diary for a long time. I was so happy to meet a new friend today. The new sister I met was very nice to me and kept praising me for being cute. Chapter 94, unrelated to the Kakashi arc. The teacher seems to be troubled by something recently, and it is rare to see him distracted. Sorry, it's a family matter. It is rare to see the teacher sigh, and it is so rare. Did you have a quarrel with your teacher's wife? As far as I know, the teacher's family only has his teacher's wife. No, it's about my cousin. Only 5 or 6 years old this year? He was the only one left after his parents died in the war, and he refused the teacher's care and lived alone. But so what? In this war-torn era, there are many such guys, isn't the ninja school about to start? I don't know if I should let Qing become a ninja. Besides, that kid won't get close to me and stays at home most of the time. The teacher is very busy and has no time to take care of a child who seems to have autism. Hey, have children of this age already started to enter the rebellious stage? Probably. This is how I answered the teacher. After all, I didn't know either. I'm worried. Maybe I'm overprotective as a brother. I would rather he was just an ordinary person. Genius? What Konoha lacks the least is genius. This guy is so lucky to have a brother like the teacher to protect him. I seem to hear the name Qing quite often recently. Who is Qing? Oh, yes, the teacher's genius brother's name also has the word Qing. Are they the same person? Probably. Graduated in the same year as Uchiha's Shisui. Asian man who graduated from the ninja school at the young age of 6 is indeed a young genius. Although I was only 5 years old when I graduated, the first time we met was because the teacher was worried and asked me to go and see how my younger brother, who was on his first mission, was doing. The teacher is indeed overprotective. In this era, such doting will only make people weaker. To my surprise, the boy was pretty much like what I had imagined, but also very different. Her appearance is just as the teacher said. She is likable and cute, and she is indeed very beautiful, but that's a boy, and a boy with a face like that would only want to hide it. As for the difference, he is more independent than I thought, and even has a maturity and stability that other children of his age do not have. When you live, you are really living. It's delicious to cook too. I haven't eaten hot food for a long time. Oh, I feel that the soldier's meals in my bag are not delicious at all. After this meal he seemed very poor and a little guilty. I'll buy some more ingredients tomorrow to make up for it. Qing is indeed as good as the teacher said, at least better than when I was 6 years old. If I had been as calm as he was, would the outcome have been different? He has qualities that I don't have. He's as dazzling as the sun, but if you get too close to him, you might get burned. The teacher's death was too sudden. The little kid back then has grown into a teenager. It seemed like something had changed, yet it also seemed the same as before. Oh? The two from the Uchiha family seemed to have an inexplicable feeling with Qing, the teacher's younger brother and son, who stayed behind. Chapter 95. In the past few years, many familiar people around him have left, leaving Kakashi like a walking corpse. Although he is a few years older, he is not as clear-headed as Qing. I heard that you are planning to quit the Anbu. Qing asked suddenly, leaving Kakashi unable to react for a moment. Kakashi did plan to resign from the Anbu, but he never mentioned it to anyone. I don't know where Qing heard this from, but Kakashi still nodded in acknowledgement. Brother, are you going to be a teacher? You will definitely become a good teacher, Qing said with a smile and walked into another store. Kakashi, on the other hand, stood there, looking at Qing's back. Qing's words made Kakashi feel uncomfortable. Why is Qing so sure that he will become a teacher? Example, Qing bought a new quilt with her own money and prepared to go back. Aren't there other things you haven't bought yet? A refrigerator, a washing machine, and so on. As for the refrigerator, Shisui said he would give me one, but I don't need the washing machine for now. After all, clothes can be washed by hand besides washing machines. Qing didn't really want the third-generation master to pay for everything he needed. Thank you, senior brother, for accompanying me shopping today. Qing thanked him very sincerely. Kakashi wanted to say that he was just completing the task assigned by the Hokage, but he couldn't help but wonder, if it was a Brito, how would he answer? If it was a Brito, he would be embarrassed to be thanked in such a formal way and would touch his head and say it's no big deal. Then, please treat me to a meal as a thank you. I want you to make it. Qing's cooking skills are very good, and Kakashi still likes it very much. Okay. How about tonight? At the new home. Qing also happened to be planning to treat everyone to dinner tonight. Forget it today, I have other things to do. Kakashi could guess that Qing's house would be very lively today, but he didn't really want to join in the fun. Is that so? What a pity. I'll invite you to dinner next time when I'm free, then. I'll make a note of it. Kakashi took out a gift bag from his bag and put it in Qing's hand. A small gift for moving, a little thought, open it when you get back. I'm leaving now, see you next time. Goodbye, senior brother Kakashi. Qing waved and watched Kakashi leave. He looked at the gift in his hand, shook it, and smiled in a good mood. The big house is managed regularly, so there is no need to clean it specially, and all the basic furniture is available. But however, their luggage was all carried by Qing, so Itachi and Shisui were unable to help pack it. Naruto also insisted on waiting for Qing to come back before touring the new home together. So, when Qing came back, he found them in the yard. The two of them were teaching Naruto how to use chakra, one on each side. Shisui was explaining while Itachi was demonstrating. Perhaps it is because Naruto himself has a high talent, or maybe it is because he has the nine tails chakra in his body, but too much chakra was lost. It seems unable to gather itself together. Several people also realized that the chakra that continued to spread out belonged to the nine tails. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96. The other three people present saw the problem. The chakra that keeps spreading out is the Nine Tails's. Naruto's own chakra was suppressed, and his chakra was so little that he couldn't even do the most basic cloning technique. I can't use the Nine Tails chakra yet, so I can't gather it together. But with just one explanation and demonstration, Naruto was able to use chakra, which shows how strong his talent is. Whether it is Minato or Kushina, the offspring of their union will definitely not be mediocre. If you practice well, you will definitely become a leader among your peers in the future. He was unable to control himself the first time, and the limited chakra in Naruto's body was lost too quickly, causing him to be drained all at once. Naruto's hands dropped and he fell backwards. Qing caught him first. Well done, little Naruto. He simply sat on the ground and let Naruto lie with his head resting on his legs so that he could feel more comfortable. Itachi and Shisui sat down and expressed their opinions to Qing. The Nine Tails chakra is controllable. Based on Shisui's understanding of Minato, he was completely able to seal the Nine Tails power if he wanted to. Since the Nine Tails chakra was leaked, there must be a reason. The only thing Shisui could think of was that the fourth Hokage wanted Naruto to use the flowing chakra. Shisui, if I can use the chakra for my own benefit, my current weakness can be turned into an advantage. If we add another layer of seal to completely seal the Nine Tails chakra, Naruto will be able to use his own chakra normally. Itachi knew that the Uzumaki clan was naturally much more chakra than ordinary ninjas, and Naruto was most likely to have inherited it. Although the tailed beasts are strong, their chakra is not so easy to control and can be easily backfired. They may even explode and die. Shisui felt that judging from Qing's attitude towards Naruto, he would not let Naruto take risks. To Shisui's surprise, Qing gave the choice to Naruto. Let little Naruto decide for himself. Although he knew that Naruto could definitely control the Nine Tails, he still didn't know what he had in his body. Now that he knows it in advance, there are people who can guide him in cultivation. Qing thought that maybe he could help Naruto escape the fate of being the last one in the group. Uncle. Naruto took in everything they said, but didn't understand what they meant. What is the Nine Tails, Qing placed her palm on Naruto's belly. Remember the bedtime story I told you before? I remember. Naruto looked at Qing in confusion and said with some suffering, but you told me a lot of stories, little uncle. I'm sorry, it's my fault for not making it clear. The story of the god and his 9 pets. Qing made up a story about the tailed beasts and told it to Naruto as a bedtime story. Bedtime story. Shisui raised an eyebrow. A god and his 9 pets. Own partners and lived happily together. Shisui and Itachi looked at Qing with the same expression. Ha ha ha, don't look at me like that. A bedtime story should always have a happy ending. Chapter 97. Qing is definitely the first person to beautify the terrifying tailed beasts into cute little animals and tell them to children in the form of bedtime stories. After listening to Naruto simply telling the story that he could remember, Shisui and Itachi said in unison, aren't you afraid of misleading the child? Ha ha ha, bedtime stories always have to be beautified. Qing actually wanted to tell them that the tailed beasts were not as scary as everyone thought. But he is not in a position to say that. The first reason is that the tailed beasts have always brought disasters too, and this is especially true for the 9-tailed fox, which is the strongest one. Qing felt this way because he knew in advance that the tailed beasts could be harmless and could reach a reconciliation and cooperate with the Jinchuriki. But now, especially the 9-tailed fox incident that just happened not long ago. The 9 tails destroyed most of Konoha and took away many important people and companions of the villagers. The Uchiha were directly affected, their interests were damaged, they were subjected to suspicion and speculation, and were even expelled to the edge of the village. Qing has no hostility towards Kyuubi because he knows who the mastermind behind this is. He wanted to live a peaceful life, but now he has dragged himself into the center of this world. If his relatives in this world were not Namikaze Minato, Uzumaki Kushina and Uzumaki Naruto, if his friends in this world were not Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi, he could have opened a shop in Konoha and lived a peaceful life after learning how to protect himself. But there is no if. He practiced hard to change the root cause of the beginning of the main line of this world. Even though he failed, at least he saved Minato and Kushina. Even though it is impossible to make them recover now, he is confident that there will definitely be a way. Someone from the Qing kept telling himself that there would always be a way. If he could snatch it from the plot once, he could clutch it a second time. Naruto finished his bedtime story with great interest and looked up at Qing in confusion. Qing then explained, There is a creature very similar to Zyujiu sealed in Naruto's body. We all call him the tailed beast. A few years ago, when Naruto was just born, the tailed beast broke through the seal and ran out to destroy the village. In order to protect the village, Naruto's parents sealed the tailed beast in Naruto's body. Speaking of which, it was the 9 tails that caused little Naruto to lose his parents, but your father left you a gift, which is to allow the 9 tails leaked chakra to be used by you. Whether you can use it depends on your own ability. This was the first time Naruto heard about his parents. At first, he only knew that his uncle was his father's younger brother, and that was all. Later, because he was too attached to his uncle, his unfamiliar parents seemed less important. In fact, Qing has been struggling with whether or not to let Naruto know the truth so early. When he was a bystander, he was also about why the third Hokage wanted to hide Naruto's life experience. Now that he is an angry insider, he understands that the third Hokage is protecting Naruto and the fourth Hokage in another way. Minato Namikaze killed countless enemies during the Third Ninja World War, and also made countless enemies. The death of the Namikaze couple was too sudden, and by the time the villagers heard about it, Naruto had already been rumored to be the incarnation of the 9 tails. Although Qing was good enough back then, he was not mature enough and he was unable to protect Naruto from many dangers. In order to prevent the outside world from knowing that Naruto is the son of the fourth Hokage, the third Hokage had no choice but to do so. Chapter 98. The third Hokage could only allow the misunderstanding to spread to this day, but he gave an order not to harm Naruto. Otherwise, Naruto, who was still so young, would not be alive today. One punch from an adult could kill him. If it weren't for the third Hokage who was always keeping an eye on him, Naruto might have been strangled to death somewhere or stolen by someone. Qing's neck and buried his face in it. Qing patted Naruto on the back. No matter what decision you make, your uncle will stand by you, whether he hated the villagers or hated the injustice he had suffered so far. Qing would stand on Naruto's side. Qing's voice was as gentle as spring water, offsetting Naruto's helplessness. I don't know. The words his uncle said were too heavy. He didn't like them and didn't understand why but at least Naruto knew that everyone hated him not because he was a bad boy. It's okay. Your uncle will always be with you. It doesn't matter if you can't practice ninjutsu now. You can start with taijutsu first. If you practice taijutsu to the extreme, not being able to use ninjutsu will not be so important. However, the 3 young men in front of Naruto were all geniuses among geniuses, whether in ninjutsu, taijutsu, or theoretical knowledge. Okay, let's put this topic aside for now. Qing hugged Naruto and stood up. The next thing is the most important. Looking at Naruto's confused eyes, Qing curled his fingers and scratched his nose. Let's visit the new home together. Great. Naruto's attention was successfully diverted. Children are always very curious. He had been eager to try it out, but he had been holding back in order to wait to be with Qing. The new house is very large, with several rooms on 2 floors and a large courtyard. If only Naruto and Qing were to live there, it would be too spacious. If you were to go on another mission later, Naruto would be alone and would seem a bit lonely. After carefully observing the interior layout, Qing decided to make good use of the extra space. So, he asked Shisui, "Can you help me make an appointment with the landlord?" Itachi, who was behind Shisui, trembled inwardly, but did not show it on his face, as if he was completely keeping himself out of the matter. Shisui glanced at Itachi casually. "If it's not something important, I can convey it to you directly." When Shisui said this, Qing guessed that maybe the landlord was from the Uchiha family. That's really helpful. If they are really from the Uchiha family, it would be better to let Shisui convey the message. "Actually, I want to change the interior structure, and I may need to break through some walls. Can you start the work? I can guarantee that it will be restored to its original state when I move out in the future." Shisui thought it might be something else, but he didn't expect Qing to have such an idea. He was about to blurt out something like, "You can change it at will. After all, the landlord won't mind at all." But it was too obvious, so he changed the question. "Isn't it clearly written in the contract? During the time you live here, you can do whatever you want with the house." To put it more directly, the landlord has signed over the right to use the land to you. If you are not satisfied with the overall appearance, you can demolish the whole house and rebuild it. Qing was silent. That doesn't have to be the case. Chapter 99. Qing felt that people who would demolish a rented house and rebuild it were people who had nothing better to do. If you really have the money to rebuild, You can just buy a new one. And he was just a poor boy. He couldn't afford to hire helpers for the next project and had to do it all himself. Qing once again realized that he was really poor and sighed softly. Find a work team. As soon as he finished speaking, he received a strange look from Qing. If it were a modern person, they would be able to clearly see that Qing was envious of the rich. That's great, I'm so envious. Qing hugged Naruto and kept a few steps away from the two young masters of the Uchiha family. I'm just a poor man. Just a few short words were spoken in a sarcastic and sour tone. As if possessed by lemon spirit, there was a momentary blank on Itachi's face, not knowing what he had said wrong to make Qing unhappy. I'm sorry. He was a little at a loss, and the words of apology came out of his mouth. All right. Shisui took a big step to close the distance and slapped Qing on the head. Don't bully Itachi, a poor man. When you start work, ask Itachi to call some free labor for you. His family has labor paid on an annual basis. The implication was that it would be a waste if you didn't use the money you had already paid for. Qing instantly retracted his expression and looked well behaved. After saying that, he turned to Itachi and explained, he's not, it's just his old habit coming back. You'll get used to it. Shisui had heard Qing's sour remarks many times before, and at first he thought that his behavior had inadvertently offended Qing. His reaction was the same as Itachi's. He subconsciously apologized, but when he saw the smile in Qing's eyes, he realized that he was just teasing a serious person like him. Then I realized that Qing was just saying it for fun, and it was just a little joke between friends. After a long time, I became numb and immune to it. Qing, who claims to be poor, actually has to earn everything he wants and needs by himself. Naruto heard this and pulled Qing's clothes with a sad face. So our family is so, uncle? I can only eat half a bowl of rice in the future, and I can go to the restaurant to wash dishes to make money. When I grow up and become a ninja, I will give all the money I earn from taking missions to my uncle. Ha 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 ha. Qing was amused by Naruto's cute words and felt warm in her heart. He smacked Naruto's cheek and said, although I am poor, I can support you. Even if you eat 10 bowls of rice in one meal, I won't go bankrupt. Even with Itachi and Shisui around, Qing couldn't help but rub his cheek against Naruto's face. Little Naruto is simply a little angel, but the hotel won't accept a little idiot like you. Your task now is to eat well, sleep well, and grow up obediently. The money I earn in the future will be used to marry a wife. Speaking of a wife, Qing thought of the lovely Hinata. At this moment, Qing completely looks like a stupid dad. Itachi and Shisui looked a little reluctant to recognize him. Uncle, what is a daughter-in-law? Naruto heard this word for the first time. Daughter-in-law means wife, the one who will live with little Naruto until old age. Then I will live with my uncle and become an old grandfather with white hair together. So my uncle is my wife. Naruto looked at Qing with starry eyes. No. Qing pinched Naruto's face and answered in his questioning eyes, because I am already your uncle, you can't be greedy. Naruto lamented. Okay, but before little Naruto gets married, your uncle will accompany you to grow up. Yet. Chapter 100. Shisui, who watched the interaction between the uncle and nephew, suppressed the waves welling up in his heart. He knew he envied Naruto. Qing's feelings have always been very pure, so pure that, if the current situation changes slightly, they may all be overturned and reorganized. What will happen after the reorganization is completely unknown. So Shisui didn't dare to take the risk. The current relationship still allowed Qing to rely on him in some aspects. If he really revealed his thoughts, based on Shisui's understanding of Qing. If he didn't have this idea, Qing would choose to become a stranger in order to avoid making things difficult for both of them in the future. At that time, even if his life was in danger, Qing would not ask for help in order to avoid being implicated, even if it meant losing his life. Qing cherishes his life the most, so much so that he treasures every day of his life extreme. But if this person is Qing, it seems very reasonable he has been creating unexpected things, and after so many times, it has become a common occurrence. Another reason we have to face now is that the Uchiha has been in unrest recently, and what will happen next is completely unknown. When he really needs to choose between the village and the family, either choice will go against the morality in his heart. When that day really came, Shisui already had a specific plan. So before everything is over, let's bury this relationship. Itachi pursed his lips and silently took note of what Qing had just said. Well, all the money I earn is given to my wife. After the tour of the house, Qing asked Itachi and Shisui to choose a room for themselves to keep as a backup, I plan to connect the room next to the master bedroom. You can choose the other rooms on the second floor. They didn't expect Qing to include their room in the budget, which was a bit surprising. The only things that need to be sorted are daily necessities. Qing, who had some private matters, was too embarrassed to ask them to help him. I can do the rest myself. Thank you for today. Please stay for dinner tonight to celebrate our successful move. But I still have to clean up the kitchen. Could you two go buy some groceries? Buy whatever you want to eat, and I'll reimburse you when you come back. Qing was very confident when it came to reimbursement because the budget is much more. What is saved is earned. The two young masters who had never bought vegetables did not refuse. Qing said to Itachi, if Sasuke is free at home, why not bring him over to play with us? Itachi complied. After the two people who were tasked with buying groceries left, they looked at each other, and returned to the tribe with the same idea to separately act and went home over. When he found out it was his brother, he instantly woke up. Brother, where have you been all day? Sasuke hadn't seen his brother since early in the morning, and at first he thought he had gone for morning exercise. But I didn't expect that he wouldn't come back until after lunch for dinner with me tonight. Itachi skipped Sasuke's emotions and went straight to the point. He knew best how to control Sasuke. Sure enough, after hearing this, the unappeasable Sasuke's attention was immediately diverted. He asked, are we going to Brother Shisui's house? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.